and tigers and bears. Lions and tigers and bears.
Oh, anyway, Pee-wee.
You think you know the Wizard of Oz, the Twister, the glittering shoes, the Emerald City that glows like a fever dream. But the Oz you remember isn't the one they lived through. Behind every bright frame was heat, danger, and a kind of Hollywood alchemy that mixed asbestos with magic and lion pelts with laughter. It's a story stitched together with bruises, burns, and the occasional broken paw. And once you hear what really happened, you'll never watch those yellow bricks the same way again. This is The Wizard of Oz stripped of its sparkle. 15 weird facts they never taught you in film class. And just before we dive in, I'm on the road to 1,000 subscribers as a small channel. If you'd like to help me keep digging, hit that subscribe button. It truly means a lot. Here are 15 mind-blowing facts you didn't know about the Wizard of Oz. The lion that was once a lion. Bertlar's cowardly lion costume wasn't crafted from imitation fur. It was made from the pelt of a real African lion. The suit weighed about 90 pounds and trapped sweltering heat under intense studio lights. Inside, temperatures could reach over 100 degrees, leaving Lar drenched in sweat after short takes. Makeup artists regularly mopped his face to keep him from overheating. The suit's lifelike movement was exactly what MGM wanted, but the smell was infamous, described as a wet zoo scent that lingered in the air. In 1939, realism in costume design sometimes meant wearing something that had once roamed the savannah. 2. The snow was poison. In the poppy field sequence, the gentle snowfall is pure cinema magic, but the snow was actually industrial-grade asbestos. Chosen for its non-melting properties under hot lights, it was liberally sprinkled on Judy Garland, the Scarecrow, and the Lion without masks or precautions. At the time, asbestos was widely used in movie sets, decorations, and even household products, long before its dangers were understood. The cast rolled around in it, breathed it in, and brushed it from their costumes as if it were harmless fluff. Today, the same material is known to cause deadly lung diseases. Back then, it was just movie magic. The Tin Man's death by makeup buddy Epson was originally cast as the Tin Man, but his silver makeup was lethal. The powder contained aluminum dust, which he inhaled during filming. Within days, he developed severe breathing problems, eventually collapsing and being rushed to the hospital. He spent weeks in an oxygen tent. His career nearly ended before Oz even began shooting. MGM recast him with Jack Haley, switching to an aluminum paste instead of powder. While less dangerous, it still caused eye infections and skin irritation. Epson's ordeal was so severe, he could not even visit the set again. His only memories of Oz were from rehearsals. Dorothy's dress was technically blue and pink. Dorothy's iconic gingham dress might look blue and white on screen, but in real life, it was blue and pink. The early Kansas scenes were filmed in a sepia-toned palette, and the pink helped achieve the correct contrast on black and white film stock. Under the bright lights, the pastel shades photographed as the perfect dusty blue the audience remembers. Standing on set, Judy Garland didn't look like the humble farm girl we know. She looked more like she'd stepped out of a pastel summer picnic. It's a reminder that even the simplest costumes in 1939 were designed with exacting cinematic trickery in mind. A horse of a different color. Trick in the Emerald City stables, Dorothy meets the horse of a different color, whose coat magically shifts between hues. MGM achieved this by coating real horses with tinted gelatin powder. Safe for the animals, but tricky to maintain. Between takes, the horses would lick the powder off themselves, forcing the crew to reapply it quickly before the color vanished. The result is one of the film's most whimsical moments. Bright, impossible colors shimmering in Technicolor. In reality, it was a race against the clock, with wranglers frantically touching up their four-legged stars while cameras rolled, ensuring Oz's magic stayed just long enough. The Munchkin casting chaos. Casting the Munchkins was a chaotic blend of vaudeville veterans, circus performers, and first-time actors. Many had never worked on a movie before, while others brought decades of stage experience. Housing them at the nearby Culver Hotel created an eccentric, carnival-like atmosphere. MGM's publicity department painted the group as a tight-knit, childlike family, but behind the scenes, their time in Hollywood was unpredictable. Late-night parties, language barriers, and costume discomfort were daily realities. Despite the challenges, their vibrant energy created one of cinema's most memorable ensembles, turning the Yellow Brick Road Parade into a jubilant spectacle that still delights audiences generations later. The suicide in the background. Myth for decades, rumors persisted that a crew member or munchkin had hanged themselves on camera during the Tin Man's forest scene. Viewers claimed they could see a body swinging in the background. In reality, it was a large bird, likely a crane, on loan from the Los Angeles Zoo. Spreading its wings, MGM brought in exotic animals to add depth and motion to the set, creating unintended visual oddities. On grainy VHS tapes, the bird's movement resembled something sinister, fueling urban legend. High-definition restorations reveal the truth. No tragedy, just a bird upstaging actors in one of Oz's eeriest, most misinterpreted shots. Margaret Hamilton's Burns. Margaret Hamilton's Wicked Witch exit from Munchkinland involved a trapdoor, smoke, and flames. During one take, the timing failed and the fire erupted before she had fully descended. She suffered second-degree burns on her face and third-degree burns on her hands. The pain was so severe, she refused to perform any more fire stunts, leaving such scenes to her stand-in, who was also injured in a separate mishap. Hamilton later joked about her accident, but her recovery took weeks. In the finished film, the moment looks like flawless magic. Behind the scenes, it was one of the production's most dangerous close calls. The Flying Monkey Mayhem. The winged monkeys may look graceful on screen, but filming them was a hazardous nightmare. Stuntmen were suspended from wires to simulate flight, but the cables occasionally snapped, sending them crashing to the set. In one mishap, a monkey plummeted into a cluster of Munchkin extras, knocking several over like bowling pins. Fortunately, no one was seriously injured, though bruises and sprains were common. The sequences demanded constant resets, with crew members scrambling to reattach wires and repair wings. On film, the monkeys glide menacingly through the sky. In reality, it was organized chaos held together by steel cables and stubborn optimism. The ruby slippers were silver in the book. In L. Frank Baum's original novel, Dorothy's shoes were silver, not red. MGM changed them to ruby to showcase Technicolor's brilliance. The shoes used on set were sequin satin, sparkling vividly under the lights. Multiple pairs were created for filming, but the most famous close-up pair now resides in the Smithsonian, guarded in a climate-controlled case. Over the years, other pairs have been stolen, recovered, and auctioned for staggering amounts. While they symbolize cinematic magic, they also mark a moment when storytelling bent to technology, changing a detail forever just so audiences could gasp at a richer, redder, more impossible shade. Toto made more money than the Munchkins. Toto, played by a female Cairn Terrier named Terry, earned $125 a week, more than double the $50 weekly pay of the Munchkin actors. Toto had a personal trainer, private meals, and a custom basket bed on set. She performed nearly all her own stunts, including running through crowds and leaping into Dorothy's arms on cue. During filming, she broke her paw when a crew member accidentally stepped on her, forcing a brief hiatus with a stand-in dog. Despite the injury, Terry became one of Hollywood's most beloved animal stars, later appearing in other films, though she's forever remembered as Dorothy's loyal companion. Judy Garland was 16, playing 12. When Judy Garland filmed The Wizard of Oz, she was 16 years old, but MGM wanted her to appear like a 12-year-old farm girl. They bound her chest, kept her on a strict diet, and allegedly gave her cigarettes to suppress her appetite. Studio handlers also supplied pep pills to keep her energized during long shooting days. The wholesome, innocent Dorothy image audiences adored was carefully manufactured, masking the toll it took on Garland's health. Behind the smile and braided hair was a teenager enduring the relentless pressures of Hollywood's studio system, a reality far removed from the dreamland she wandered on screen. Yellow Brick Road was a trap. The famous Yellow Brick Road wasn't made of bricks at all. It was painted canvas stretched across the soundstage floor. Under the intense studio lights, the paint softened and became tacky, sticking to the actors' shoes. Scuff marks appeared constantly, requiring the art department to touch up the surface between takes. For dancers and costumed actors, the surface was also a tripping hazard, especially in bulky outfits like the Tin Man or Lion. On film, the road looks like an effortless path to adventure, but for the cast, every step risked peeling paint, stained costumes, and the occasional slapstick-style stumble. Over the Rainbow almost got cut. Today, it's considered one of the greatest songs in movie history, but MGM executives nearly cut Over the Rainbow. They thought the Kansas sequence dragged and worried children would grow restless. Director Victor Fleming fought to keep it, believing it was essential to Dorothy's character. Judy Garland's heartfelt performance ultimately won the argument. The song went on to win an Academy Award for Best Original Song and became Garland's lifelong signature. Without it, the film would still be visually dazzling, but missing the emotional heartbeat that makes The Wizard of Oz more than just a colorful fantasy about witches and roads. The film wasn't a hit at first. When The Wizard of Oz premiered in 1939, it didn't make back its production costs. The film's massive budget, along with stiff competition from other releases, meant it struggled at the box office. It wasn't until a 1949 re-release and regular television broadcasts in the 1950s that it became a cultural phenomenon. Over time, it transformed from a mild commercial disappointment into one of the most beloved films ever made. The Yellow Brick Road's journey to success mirrors Dorothy's own, full of unexpected turns, trials, and a final destination far more magical than anyone could have imagined in that first run. The magic of The Wizard of Oz was never as simple as a girl, a tornado, and a dream. It was built from costumes that suffocated, stunts that failed, and moments so dangerous they left scars, both visible and hidden. Beneath the shimmer of Technicolor was a set where temperature soared past 100 degrees, where makeup could hospitalize you, and where a slip of timing could mean a trip to the burn ward. And yet, from that chaos came a film that refuses to fade. Every generation rediscovers it, not because The Yellow Brick Road is perfect, but because it's imperfect in all the ways that make it human. It's a reminder that beauty can be born from discomfort, that joy can grow from exhaustion, and that sometimes the most enduring dreams are built under impossible circumstances. So, the next time you see Dorothy skipping toward Emerald City, remember, the road was sticky, the snow was poison, the lion once roamed the savannah, and the wonder you feel is the product of blood, sweat, and a little cinematic sorcery. In Oz, even dreams are made of smoke, fire, and a lot of courage.